Hi everybody, it's Ed here. Today we're working on the Lightbox and we're working on phase 2 of the Merle's Inlet project. As you can see behind me, the window that goes on the left side of this threesome is completed. As the window that goes on the right side is getting ready to be puttied. And today, y'all, we're cutting out the what I call the cast neck guy. So we're dressing him up, and so these, this stringers from Bullseye, he's gonna be wearing black and white striped pants, which I think is really cool. And but I wanted to show y'all something. This really worked out beautiful for us, and I just want to share it with you because I think that you can see. Now, you know, I've got all this going on in here, and I think it's really interesting looking. But if you can imagine this right here, I cut this out just like this intentionally because I also want these lines to be moving across here like that. So if you look at this, I'll go ahead and let me dress up the cast neck guy, what I got so far to show you and share it with you. So he's wearing a really pretty, because he's in the creek and we want the boats to see him. And these are the tops of his little white rubber fishing boots. In the inlet, I think they call them loafers. So, but anyway, this is it. And then we're gonna come in and we're gonna do this really bright canary yellow on his shirt and up here around his collar. You know, he's, not only is he fishing in the creek, but he wants to be seen if any boats decide they want to come by and get a little bit close. So the canary yellow, again, this is a Bullseye, and we're going to be using it right here. So you know what? Let's go ahead and get this and this cut, share that with you, and then we'll show you how it all kind of fits together. I'm going to slide that out of the way. These are marked and numbered. We're working on the Lightbox today, everybody. So the first thing I want to do here is, you know how I am, I like to whittle things down and make it less than what I need. So here we go. Oh my, you can't hear that sound because this color is so dense, but it breaks like nobody's business. Why? Because it's a Bullseye glass, everybody, and they have their annealing process down to the science that it should be. So here we go. This is his bright yellow shirt right here. So, and again, we're gonna whittle this off. Okay, so now you can see that the lines are coming through my yellow glass, which is what I want. And remember, when we're cutting on the Lightbox, we don't stay on the black line, we stay against it as we work through the process. So here we go, and remember, constant pressure when you're cutting the glass, and also the pressure that you need to cut glass is the amount of pressure it takes to depress the head. Those of you that are using a cutter that has a depressing head, the reason the head depresses is because that allows oil to come out if you have oil in your cutter. So here we go. We're going to stay against the black line, not on it and not in it, but against it. Okay, so we're going to bring that in. Okay, so you see this dip right here? The first thing Ed's going to do is just give myself some more room here. And now we're going to go down in, around, and out. And then we're going to take this. This will be our last cut, everybody. Okay, and I'm going to do one more rainbow cut here. And this will just help me get all of this out. Now, when you're using your grousing pliers, of course, you have a curved jaw and a straight jaw, everybody. And make sure that you have your straight jaw on top. Your grousing pliers will work much easier that way. And remember, you're only holding the glass with your pliers. You're pulling down with your other hand. So here we go. This is our rainbow cut, everybody. Oh my. And we all know what happened there. It didn't break correctly. So let's cut another one. But this, I believe I can use up here. So let's cut that out of the cutoff, and then we'll cut another one of his shirts. I felt when I went into a crack, and you guys may have the same dilemma. You know, all of the glass isn't perfectly smooth. It's not perfectly flat. Sometimes it bends a little bit. And even Ed has trouble cutting glass sometimes. It's not, you know, it's not something that when you're cutting glass, it's not something that you get so good at that the glass doesn't break incorrectly. So keep in mind, don't get frustrated when you're cutting glass, because a lot of times it's the glass itself. It's actually the cutter instead of the cutty, okay? So the cutter rolls through those dips and crevices, and not all the time does your cutter score or separate the molecules on the surface. Let's do another one, and hopefully this one won't embarrass me. So here we go. So the first thing we're gonna do, you know what, since we have this rainbow cut here, Ed's gonna go ahead and that's gonna be the first thing that I'm gonna take out, because I am not gonna be playing around with it. Just like that. Okay. So now we have this, just like that. So I'm just kind of working my way around, running it out. Now I've got my run started. My score is there. There we go. So now we can step right into what's going on. We're gonna take that out. And now we're gonna go right down. And you hear the little cracks and crevices. Well, you know, those things are all part of the glass. But what you have to remember is that when you go into one of those, just don't lift your cutter up, that's all. Hang on, I can't see that score. And here we go. Okay, so I see my score, but this is too much glass to try and take that curve out. So we dig in, get that first section out. Now let's get this section out. Okay. So now we have that, and let's go up and finish out. Now remember, see that curves right there. So we'll just take the back of your grousing pliers, pick up, and now we have his shirt, okay? So you see this big spot right here. This is actually just gonna be an overlay, and we'll probably bring this water into this, and then this is part of his shadow that's coming down from the back of his hat there. See that? That's going to be part of the shadow. So now we'll just take this, and we have that. You're going to make that number 11. And we'll set that right there. So in just a moment, I'm going to share with you what our cast net guy looks like. He's all dressed up. and ready for fishing. Okay. So now we have this. This should all just come right out just like we need it to. Yeah, so the Bullseye is really a nice glass, but today it must be the humidity. Okay, so we're just gonna, we whittled that away, and now we're just gonna dig in and see if we can't. There we go. Okay. Okay, so there's that. Boy, when you're cutting this glass here, it's like driving on an Horry County road. You know what? I'm going to take one more rainbow out of this, y'all. The rainbow cut still works. The other thing is you know, you can use your silver schnitz, and but today we're just using this. So you know what? Look at that. That's what we wanted. Now I'm gonna take just a quick second, get my broom, my brush, and I'm gonna swept out, cleaned up, and looking good. So you don't have to put your hand in any of this craziness going on here. Now the reason I wear these sleeves is because I'm constantly laying on this table with my arms to move things around and everything. And these sleeves, believe it or not, will keep your arms from maybe scratching a small piece of glass. What if you lay your arm on something like that and you don't feel it until it's, well, you do feel it, but you feel it when it's too late. So let's see what the cast net guy looks like. I haven't cut his pants out yet for you. So I thought a really cool green looking hat would be awesome for this guy. So we got our cast net guy coming together. So there's our cast net guy. Now we have his pants right here. And so we're gonna get those cut. And then the cast net guy will be completed. Now, as we pan across, yeah, I'm just gonna set his legs over here. As we pan across, you can see some of the other colors that I'm using on this. But as we pan across here, there we go. You can see the cast net. This wide line from using my fatty, this wide line is the outside of the cast net itself. So this being the center of the cast net, these pieces of glass here will be a different color, and then this all the way around will encase the cast net. And then of course, because cast net is basically clear, the water will run behind it and through it so that it looks like it. But the whole idea is to get the outline of the cast net so that it looks like it's going out into the water, which is exactly what it did when we took the picture. So this is our cast net guy. We're getting ready to put his pants on. Stick with us, don't go away. Yeah, so hey, what I'm gonna do is since I got this together, that looks good, and now I know I hadn't forgotten any of the pieces. I just think this green looks really good. And the other thing is, y'all, here's the thing. Though these windows will have light behind them, let me unplug the light box and show you what the cast net guy looks like with no light. Because the whole idea behind these windows on the rest of the job is that we're using opaque glasses, that you don't need any light. These pictures in these windows should show up just as good with light behind them as they do with no light at all. So watch this. I'm gonna just unplug my light box, and I want you to see the cast net guy. There you go. Check him out. He's looking good. And if you can imagine, again, we're gonna be using an opaque white for these black and white pants here. Remember, it's very important. As you cut glass, make sure you put an X on it so that you don't have to cut it again. So once you get that X on there, okay. So now that we have all of our X's on our glass, we can go ahead and move these out of the way. So this is my day today, y'all. We have 120 pieces of rope to cut out, and then we're gonna try it. We're gonna do this cast net as we work through it. I'm gonna go find the glass for it. So all of this bullseye glass, because it's small pieces, don't think we're gonna throw it away. This is all fusible glass, and we'll use it for something. So let me share the fish basket with you. He's catching fish in his cast net, and there we go. So that's looking good. And now we're coming over here, and I need to move this out of the way. So let's go ahead and make this number 18, 19, and number 20. And we know that these three pieces are done as well. Okay. So, not all of these stringers from Bullseye are flush with the glass. Most of the time, you're gonna have to cut it from the back side. But because we want it, You know, I guess I could do it like that, and then when they have the lights on, you would see the stripes. But I'm more interested in what it looks like without the light. You know, stained glass windows are typically their most beautiful and the truest color right at dusk, as the sun's not bright and hot, but it's also not dark outside. And you get that during that dusk time is when you get your stained glass. The colors are their truest and they're most vibrant, believe it or not. You know, when the sun's out on a stained glass window, yeah, they're bright and everything, but you know what? What do you see? What I call hot spots, which are, it's bright over here and it's dull over here, because the sun is never directly on them. They're, you know, it's always up. But if you look at stained glass windows at dusk, and probably at sunrise, I'm usually not up that early, but at sunrise, I would think, I know that at dusk, they are the truest color, and they're exactly, at dusk, this window will look exactly the way I built it. And you can see that because, you know, you just, and you can't hurry this process. So we're gonna start up here. Oh, hang on, there we go. I got the right lines in there this trip. So here we go. So we're just gonna, remember we've talked about when you go across textured glass, you wanna take your time, okay? So we're gonna make sure that that fits, and that does. Down and away. Remember, down and away. If you go down and in, you stick yourself right there, and we don't want to do that. And since Ed's on a blood thinner now, I can't be doing that at all. So here we go. We're just gonna trim this back a little bit. This one's not gonna be too bad. Just like that. Perfect. Well, I say perfect, nothing's perfect, y'all. But it's close. Okay. So again, we're gonna so once I get this cut, we'll put him back together and I'll share him with you. Because he is going to be looking good, looking good. If you heard that, you know that I started the run. Now I'm going to come back to it and it'll come out, okay? Guys, when you're cutting things like this out, hold the glass with the pliers, pull down very easy until you hear that pop. That pop means that you've started the run in your score, which is perfect. And then go to the other end and bring it back to it. And once they meet, you should be able to just pull that section right out and not have to worry about it. See there? That's exactly what we wanted. Now I've left enough room on each side. Let's go ahead and now this, remember, down and away, just like that. And we'll put this in to represent the shadow. And I'll come over here. Well, actually, you know what? The cast net guy's done. Let's share it with you and show you what he's going to look like. That's part of his hat. Now, of course, all these pieces have to be cleaned up. Even though they're going into lead, we're going to clean them up quite a bit and make sure that everything fits exactly the way that we want it. I love this hat. You know, actually, I have a fishing hat that looks just like this. And if I wanted to make this hat pink, Barb has a fishing hat that looks just like that. So it's just a little collar. And his face. Y'all, there's the cast net guy, and he's catching fish today. So we're working on this window. We're gonna be having it cut out, but today I'll be working on the rope that you see here. We're gonna get all that cut out, top and bottom, and then we're gonna finish numbering this. Now you guys see the way that the water's running in here? It's different shapes, different odd shapes, things like that. What happens when you do this, especially I've noticed in transparent textured glasses, when you build your water with all these pieces and everything, the water, y'all, actually moves in the light because there are so many pieces of it and they're all different. And when you get the light on a textured piece of glass, and I'll be sharing that with you because we're working on another project as well that actually has that type of water in it. I'll be sharing that with you. But for right now, we're sharing the cast net guy. And like behind me is this side of the cast net guy at 36 inches by 40. On the putty table that's getting ready to be puttied is the other end of this window here. And that one's going to be puttied today, and then we'll get the reinforcing bar on it. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to attach the rebar again on this window here, because it's imperative that you understand the process and the reasoning behind, you know, installing the rebar. Now these pieces are vertical, and you can see on the window behind me, the rebars are running vertical. And I typically, on a 3-foot window, I do them every 12 inches, so we get 2 bars. On this one here, this particular window is going to get 4 vertical bars. So altogether, we've got 8 vertical reinforcing bars installed in this window. Not only does it keep it from going back and forth, but it allows it not to fold up because these windows are a vertical window. So anyway, we're going to be sharing all that stuff with you. Thank you for joining the ARTyRV channel, because we're trying to help you become more confident while you're doing your stained glass project.